Hi, I'm Dennis. I do the setup system for the fair, setting up all the animal departments, which I've been doing in the setup part of it for almost 20 years now. Prior to that, I was superintendent of the beef department. So my total number of years here has been nearly 46 years, and I've been doing the setup for 20 years of that 46. My first experience or memory of the fair was the first year that I started here. I was what they call the hay hauler. The exhibitors in the cattle and sheep department were provided hay. Actually, the fair furnished hay to those exhibitors, and they did that for several years until one time the fair saw that people brought sheep in a normal truck, and they found that the sheep were riding higher in that truck because the exhibitors decided to collect some hay for winter apparently. So they saw that some more hay was going out than was really needed. My hay hauling experience also involved a couple of 16-year-old kids that were helping me. I was roughly 35 years old. Anyway, we had a great time. And we would load the wagon so heavy that once in a while the front end of the tractor would actually bob up and down in the air. It was quite interesting in those days. And as I say, that was back in 1976, roughly. I have been with the fair for almost 46 years. I started back in about 1976, and that's when I was doing the hay hauling experience. And then 2 years or so after that hay hauling experience, then they needed a superintendent for the beef cattle. So I worked as a superintendent for several years before I entered my present capacity of doing the setup for all the animal departments. In my current role as setting up the fair, I actually work with 8 different superintendents of different animal departments. So essentially, every want, wish, and desire of their needs, I take care of for them, including setting up all the penning areas for the sheep and the goats, which involves 180 pens for the goats, about over 100 pens for the sheep. They're 5x7 pens, so they have to be clamped together, so that takes a fair amount of time. Obviously, I'm in charge of that. I don't physically do all of it, but this year I was half of I had a partner helping me, and we did set up this year, being fewer animals than previous years. 2 of us were able to do it in the 5 weeks that I had ahead of fair to start setting up the animal departments. Also set up all the caging for the rabbits, for the chickens. Caging for the chickens amounts to up to 300 cages for chickens, over 200 caging areas for rabbits. And of course we do the pigs, that's over 80 pens typically for the pigs. They're a different type of pen. Takes 2 people to handle the penning material. So it's quite involved, and again, that's why I start 5 weeks before fair. One of my most favorite enjoyable times of fair is being able to meet and greet fair goers that I've seen at fair, and in particular people who have exhibited at fair. I've been through 2 or 3 generations of people, so I've been able to watch children. Now these children have become parents. Now some of them are grandparents, and it's a great enjoyment for me to be able to greet these people and renew acquaintance with them and ask what their lives have been like over the past years if I hadn't seen them the previous year. The educational opportunities for the community, in particular young people, there are a lot of young people that come from the schools at different times during the week, and the exhibitors do a great job in publishing and on signage, on pictures that they have with their exhibits, identifying sometimes the history of a particular animal, where they originated from, what their purpose is, what their uses are, food, fiber, and various things, which is a great benefit to the community, in particular young people who have not seen this. So schools don't often get this opportunity in the school classroom setting, so the fair becomes a classroom of itself for these school children. This one gentleman was exhibiting cattle, and he decided that he was going to get the public's attention to him. So he parked a fresh cow dropping out in the aisle, and he threw quarters into the dropping. And he watched children look at those quarters and literally dive after those quarters. And parents were just beside themselves, pulling the children away from that situation. So that was a fun experience. Obviously, in these days, we don't get to do those kinds of things, and we have to discourage exhibitors from doing that kind of stuff.